And finally, guys, it is coalition news. So while I was away, the coalition underwent its new favourite pastime, threatening to break up. Like an abusive partner, they figured out that they can use the relationship as leverage to demand that you do what they want. And guys, nobody who treats you this way is worth it, okay? You're better than that. You might think that you need to be empowered to take advantage of being a politician, but you don't. I promise you don't. I think you'll find it's just easier to be in opposition forever. You can say whatever you like, the people who believe you will vote for you regardless, and you'll never be wrong. You can forever just say that if only you'd put us in power, then things would be different, and you'd get paid very handsomely to do that. And occasionally a billionaire will see you as a lever to power and send money your way. If anything, it's a pretty sweet gig. But as they always are, these things are short-lived, and the Liberal Party and National Parties reunited to form the coalition once more, after 11th hour talks between leaders Susan Ley and David Littleproud. Just a minor concession here and compromise there, and it's back to being in opposition. Reunited, and it feels so good. Ley then said that the coalition had a responsibility to chart a course back to government. She then went on to say that after recent crackdowns on freedom of speech and protest in Australia, becoming the most secretive government in Australian history and failing to build a functional and effective anti-corruption commission, Labor were doing a better job at being the coalition than the coalition have been for years. And if Labor becomes the coalition, then I guess the coalition has to become the Greens or One Nation, and neither of those sound particularly appealing to the coalition. Ley said that the coalition is back together and looking to the future and not to the past. Great! Have we got footage of them looking to the future?
We have breaking news at 9 a.m. It is official. Susan Ley is being challenged as leader of the Liberal Party.
Oh shit! It's another lip spill! Yeah! Not even a year after the last leadership challenge that put Susan Ley in power in the first place, the coalition has broken up twice!
A fresh news poll declared her the most unpopular leader in a quarter century.
Well, I guess Susan Ley was just out to prove women are just as capable of fucking up the coalition as any man was. She's running up that hill, she's going through the glass door and proceeding to break the glass ceiling of ineptitude. Girl power, zigazay-ah.
Over the last 9 months, according to the most recent opinion polls, 2.1 million of those people have since deserted the coalition.
Oh, James. Whew. You do know how to turn an electorate on, don't you? Don't stop. Don't stop now, it's just getting good.
If it goes on, there'll be nothing left of the Liberal Party by the next election.
Ooh, James. James! Whoa, don't threaten me with a good time. You're almost there. You're almost there. Keep going. Keep going. Why are you stopping? James, why are you stopping now? Wait, James, don't stop. Don't stop. James, stop edging us and bring us to completion. James! James! Yeah, of course not. Typical coalition behaviour. They never know how to satisfy the voters. It's not just the Liberals taking pot shots at the Liberals. Anthony Albanese jumped on easy political points, accusing the coalition of being obsessed with cutting each other down, saying they love fighting, but they never fight for Australia, which honestly is rich coming from the Labor Party right now. If I had just oppressed as many right to assembly and protests as you have recently. Belabouring the point more as he says, they just fight each other because it goes to the core values. Champ, what are you doing? Here's a hot tip for you. When your enemy is making a mistake, don't interfere. Let them make the mistake. No wonder you've been struggling to win elections. What is the strategy here? As one modern philosopher put it,
let them fight.
Susan has only been in the position 9 months. Surely she won't be given the Liz Truss treatment.
Some breaking news. Angus, 34. Susan Ley, 17.
Oh, well, never mind. The coalition has a new leader now. there's a new opposition leader to make fun of, and now they don't ever have to admit that they were a shit party with no policies, who makes mistakes and makes waves by claiming to be a party of economic responsibility, but then every time they get in power, our debt and our rights get worse. So no, it's not the party's fault. It's the children who are wrong. I mean, the leader who was wrong. If they fuck up the 2028 election, they can simply scapegoat the previous party leader as unqualified, even though Angus lost the leadership challenge to her in the first place, and it's him that's leading them into the new election. Susan, have you got any thoughts about this?
I will be tendering my resignation to the Speaker.
Oh, well, that escalated fast. And between us, is probably the most sensible thing that anyone from the party has done in a long time. Anyone else want to give any thoughts?
I look forward to stepping away completely and comprehensively from public life.
Oh, you know what? This might be the smartest thing that a politician has ever said when leaving office. Get out fast and easy. Don't say anything else that will haunt you. Make a graceful exit. And it looks like she got out clean.
I was part of the early punk rock movement in Canberra. I will continue to find wisdom in one of punk's defining themes, a fearless and honest belief in yourself.
Susan! What are you doing? You were out! You had it! You nailed the exit! And then you tripped over on the way off the mat. You stood in front of the nation in an egg white power suit and declared yourself the enduring spirit of punk? You're invoking an anti-authoritarian movement immediately after being leader of the authority. What are you doing? The woman who had a cry when Anthony Albanese wore a Joy Division shirt so she could attempt to score political points. Real fucking punk rock of you there. I'm not going to call you a poser, as I'm not going to gatekeep punk from you. If you want to consider yourself a punk, fine. That's against the movement, gatekeep punk. The only people not allowed in are Nazis. That's been made historically clear. I guess she intends to go and fight the system that she ran. Seems that fearless was not the quality they wanted in a leader. The party confirmed it prefers electable as its adjective, although that fails to explain why they chose Angus as their new leader. But don't let that stop you from laying the future problems of the party at the feet of Susan going forward, Angus. Certainly, she called herself a punk, so it just got easier. They wanted a company man, who has been more and more company as the years went on. Enter company boy Angus Taylor. So why was he no good before, but suddenly he is good enough now? Who is this man? Who is Angus Taylor? Well, he was a Rhodes Scholar with qualifications in economics and a career in business before politics. His 1993 Oxford thesis used game theory to argue that small English pubs should be protected from the major brewers by limiting the number of hotels that they could tie up to supply their beer. Perhaps surprisingly for a liberal, Taylor was arguing for more regulation, not less. But don't let Angus read past Angus's thesis. People might think that he's some sort of pinko commie and cares about fairness. He might even lose this leadership position that he's managed to take. And don't let that thesis confuse you. Angus does have the qualities that are needed to be a leader of the Liberal Party. He has pushed against nation-building projects like the NBN and wind farms. His investments proved controversial over alleged illegal clearing of native grasslands in 2016 by a company called Jamland, in which Taylor has a shareholding, and shortly after Jamland was investigated for allegedly poisoning the critically endangered habitat. They were illegally clearing protected grasslands by a company in which his family had a financial interest. Now, he denied any wrongdoing to the use of a mysterious and misleading document which he could never explain. To attack Sydney Lord Mayor Clover Moore of excess travel costs, and then doctored documents to fit this narrative. and was found out. The council had actually spent less than $230,000 on travel that financial year, which was not what Angus had claimed. His mate was involved in poisoning 406 wedge-tailed eagles, and he never faced court due to statute of limitations being passed, and that same person was involved with illegal land clearing with the Taylor family business. He backed Dutton in the 2018 spill that removed Turnbull and then delivered the leadership to Scott Morrison, joining Morrison's cabinet as Minister for Energy and Industry, despite not supporting Morrison, though one could hardly hold not supporting Scott Morrison against anybody. In 2019, it emerged that the then Agriculture Minister Barnaby Joyce bought water rights worth nearly $80 million from Eastern Australia Agriculture, a cotton company that Angus helped set up in 2007. In an event annoyingly known as Watergate. And of course, his most famous move, a great one might say. Taylor was the subject of unwelcome media attention when his official Facebook page commented on its own post about funding for rail car parks in the now famous and endlessly recycled words, "Fantastic, great move, well done Angus." Look at him go. Great move. Well done Angus. A move so mindless and stupid that he will probably try to take the narrative by making it his campaign slogan. So, like all our strongest Liberal Party leaders, Angus enters the leadership position with a whole collection of controversies under his belt already. So he is well prepared to lie to the media and deceive his electorate like a true coalition leader. So surely, the best controversies will still be ahead of him. As Taylor faces a bunch of pre-existing problems he admittedly has inherited from previous coalition governments, some of which he helped to create. Both parties and problems, that is. It's now a question of whether he's capable or even has the inclination to fix these very same problems, which commenced during the time the Liberal Party was in government between 2013 and 2022. And its new problems as it bleeds popularity faster than a haemophiliac in a cactus factory. Remember, the Liberal Party was in government less than 3 years ago and has been for 9 years. The Liberal Party can't rebuild its base simply by opposing. That was the 2022 strategy for Labor and the Democrats, and we've seen how poorly that it worked for Democrats when Trump rolled into town again and took power. He might have had to do something radical, something that the Liberal Party hasn't done for a good while. He might need to announce some policies. Any policies will do, like just something. It'd be a good start. So Angus, are you listening? Are you listening? I know it's scary if you announce something and then don't do it. They might say that you flip-flopped, and there seems to be nothing worse to a politician than the accusation of flip-flopping. But alternatively, you could just shoot off a bunch of buzzwords. I wonder which one he will choose. Do we have a clip?
We must look ahead and put the disagreements of the recent past behind us. And most importantly, hold a bad Labor government to account by putting Australians first.
Ding, 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 it's buzzword time! That's right, let's rack up some buzzwords before we move on. Let's do it, Angus. What do you got for me? Show me some buzzwords.
Our core values. Politics of convenience in everyday Australians. Put the Australian people first. Record immigration. Our borders have been open to people who hate our way of life by Islamist extremists, and has failed to protect our way of life and protect our way of life, where we're a nation of strength and unity, unapologetically defend Australian values. We know that government must live within its means. We'll focus on the things that unite us: family, community and nation.
Anything else, Angus? Anything else? What about a fair go? Did we get a fair go? Does anybody get a fair go? We're famous for that one.
And where there's a fair go...
We get a fair go? Oh, there it is. I was worried there for a minute, Angus. I was worried that you didn't want to give us a fair go. I didn't think that we'd be getting a fair go. And if you were opposition leader, I don't know, 10 years ago, we'd probably still be on Team Australia, I guess. Remember, most of these challenges did come from policies put in place by the coalition that have made climate change worse by removing the carbon tax and actively pushing against renewable energies in favour of nuclear, who pushed debt up from gross debt significantly, increasing it from 271 billion to over 881 billion, who masterminded the Robodebt scandal, who engaged in rampant pork barrelling and members literally being found guilty of corruption, wasting not only tax money that you pay, but then forcing us to spend more money to uncover their corruption and their pork barrelling. Despite this, throughout his press conference, Angus Taylor has repeatedly said that he wants to protect Australians' way of life, saying he doesn't want, quote, bad migration.
Good migration is good for this country. I've always believed that. I grew up in a town not far south of here, which was a migrant town, and I saw what it brought to the country. We had the first great cappuccinos in this country.
Oh, good migration. What does that look like? Making a cappuccino? Apparently that's good migration. Apparently that looks like a bunch of people just saying, just shut up and make our coffees, please. Serve us food and leave your ideas at the door. You know, give us better food. Give us a better food scene than the UK, but don't get any ideas about being accepted. You know, shut up and dance, you know, that sort of thing. Get back in the kitchen, that sort of thing. But only if you speak English and respect the local culture, like Australia has always done. Respected the local culture, I mean. You know, we did that in Australia. 125 years of respecting local culture. But Angus, I must ask, what about this?
I've been leaked one of the proposals the Liberal Party is actively discussing, inspired by a recent UK Labor Party policy. If a country doesn't take back its citizens who've been rejected by Australia, then Australia would blacklist that country or potentially a zone within it and ban its citizens getting a visa here. This could include areas like parts of the Philippines which have, in the past, been hotbeds for terrorism. Some moderates in the party believe it goes too far, but we understand the new leader is considering it.
Seems the only form of foreign hate that we are happy to accept is when white people hate people. White people can hate whoever they like, it would appear, especially if they run a newspaper or a political party. As Angus and Pauline find themselves in a political pissing competition over who hates Muslims the most. But don't let me stand in your way. Two of you can fight it out. Have at it. And Taylor has been asked about that famous comment on Facebook. He says that ridicule is the biggest enemy of politicians. Well, allow me to slip into enemy mode real fast. So first, what a fucking stupid statement. Ridicule is the biggest friend of politicians. They otherwise don't seem to know when they have fucked up and need to be mocked relentlessly. Have a sense of humour about yourself, Angus. I mean, you want to run Australia and you can't take a joke? Get the fuck out of here. We're all about larrikinism. Isn't that an Australian value? Making fun of ourselves? Detrimental humour? Angus Taylor has certainly proved that he is leadership material, mostly by finally remembering to sign out of his fake accounts before jumping on social media to like and comment "good job" on his own posts about challenging Susan Ley for opposition leadership. Now, first of all, what a beautiful, fragile statement that was. Ridicule is not the enemy of politicians, okay? Ridicule is the only thing that occasionally reminds them that they're mortal. If ridicule doesn't exist, then Question Time would just be an even more useless PowerPoint presentation. A TED Talk, but more boring. Ridicule is the pressure release valve of democracy. Without it, we'd have to start throwing furniture at each other. You want to run Australia? And you can't survive a meme? Mate, this is the country that turned a Prime Minister eating a raw onion into folklore. And then he says that we need to focus on Australian values. Okay, Australian values, sure. The political equivalent of vibes, I guess. It's one of those phrases that means everything and nothing all at the same time. The Australian values are like the Constitution in America. Everyone invokes it, but no one's actually read it. It's flexible, it stretches, it expands to include whatever we're currently comfortable with and then shrinks to exclude whatever makes us uneasy at the time. Do you love a barbecue? That's an Australian value. Do you like public health care? Well, that's debatable whether it's Australian valuable. It depends on who's collecting it. Standing up for human rights? Yeah, again, it depends on who's asking. Un-Australian is just code for, well, I don't like that one thing. We say that we value mateship, but only if your mate votes correctly. We say that we value fairness, unless fairness is expensive. We say that we value a fair go, but not a fair go that involves refugees, renters, or anyone slightly inconvenient. Australian values are apparently sacred, but somehow they're always align perfectly with whoever's polling well in marginal seats. And let's be honest, if ridicule is the biggest enemy of politicians, that's because it exposes the one thing that they fear the most: being seen clearly. Ridicule stops the spin. It's not an enemy, it's quality control. Democracy without ridicule is simply marketing. And if your leadership collapses under the weight of a joke, maybe it wasn't leadership. Maybe it was just branding with a lapel pin.